It's just a wacky Wednesday edition of Mr. Irrelevant. I found a bucket hat, so I'm wearing that. I think it looks ridiculous, but hey, we're going to roll with it. Joshy's here, Hunter's here. I'm Alex Strouf with you here on Mr. Irrelevant, presented by Dawg County Distillery. Josh and I from the Gruber offices, One Call That's All Studios at the Avenue, beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Hunter Vaughn back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Fellas, I've just got a wacky, I just know it's going to be a wacky show today. So buckle up, strap in. We're going to have some fun. We got a lot to get into. Joshy's going to take yet another victory lap at some point. We're going to bark at some point during the show, and that is not a joke. That is not a term of speech. That is a real thing we're going to do here shortly. We'll play one word as we do every Wednesday. We'll get angry a little bit later because of Jesse Winker. It's going to be a good one today. I'm feeling the vibes are high in my bucket hat, Joshy.
Hunter, I'm gonna have a conversation, just you and I here. We're gonna exclude.
All right, I'll go away.
Okay.
He's not a bucket hat guy, is he?
He's not a hat at all guy. Like, it just doesn't work.
Hey.
Jesse Nelson isn't a hat guy either.
But I'm a hat guy. I worked at Lids for 3.5 years.
Yeah,
okay, great.
Some people are frauds.
Joshy, switch hats with me. Come in here.
No.
Why
I'm
not?
not putting on a bucket hat.
Why not?
Because I have a feeling I'll look even more ridiculous than you.
Yeah, I look awful.
The best thing is knowing what you can and can't do in life.
That's true.
Bucket hat's not you.
I've never seen anyone that I could take seriously wearing a bucket hat.
It's fair. It's fair. No, and you shouldn't. I feel like people that wear bucket hats lack self-respect. I'd probably fall into that category if we're being honest with one another.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, I like myself. I don't think anybody ever doubts that, right? Like, I do enjoy myself. I think I'm a good person for the most part. But this is just a look, man. And the thing is, it keeps scraping the back of my quarter zip I'm wearing. So it's making this noise anytime I move my head just slightly. I'm going to make it through, though. I'm going to make it through. Unlike Robert Saleh, the former Jets head coach, who was fired yesterday, our old friend Aaron Rodgers, of course, the quarterback there. Woody Johnson, the owner, saying Rodgers had no responsibility. They didn't talk about it ahead of time, which I think we all kind of call crap on. We know for a fact that Rodgers had something to do with that firing, right? Like, zero doubts.
Unequivocally.
Good use of that word, yeah. So I was surprised by this. No doubt that he deserved to get fired at some point. After week 5 is insane to me. For a team that's not even that bad, it's not like they're 0-5, it's not like they're 1-4. They've won a few ball games. I get the expectations for the New York Jets in a year where Aaron Rodgers is healthy as the Super Bowl. I completely understand that. But A, it ain't happening. And B, Captain. And B, is this if the time was this short, right? If we're a month into the season and this is the time to pull the trigger on it, it seems like 9 months ago was the time to pull the trigger on it, right, Joshy? Right? Like, you've been taking victory laps all over ESPN Wisconsin. You smoked a cigar on KBN yesterday. You, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, you're just laughing up a storm. There is nobody more vindicated. There is nobody happier than Josh DiMaggio when it came to the Robert Saleh news, because you are openly just a ginormous Aaron Rodgers hater. I don't get why you do it now. That's the part I'm struggling to comprehend around the firing of Robert Saleh.
Because it is proof positive that this team with Super Bowl aspirations will not be winning a Super Bowl. No team ever in history has won a Super Bowl after firing their coach. There has been one team to go to the playoffs. I believe that was Antonio Pierce and the Raiders, like last year. Yep. But that's not going anywhere. Aaron Rodgers made this whole move to have all the control, to pull all the levers, to be the guy. He wanted what Tom Brady had, and he's already failed at having what Tom Brady had. He's not as good of a talent evaluator as Tom Brady. He's not as good of a winner. He's not as good of a leader. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is staring down his retirement with an interim head coach, and Nathaniel Hackett, who shouldn't have the job he has, but if we notice that report from CBS, which has come a little under question and how it played out, which Jets PR yesterday was doing work.
Oh, they were doing work.
They wanted to cast doubt on the escorted out.
Okay, well, hold on a minute. He wasn't escorted out. He was accompanied on his way out, which I don't think is abnormal.
Right. The thing is, he literally was escorted out, but people took it in a way that, like, he had to be apprehended and removed from the premises.
Which is inaccurate.
But, but also, like, why do you need to correct that? The report is still accurate. No one said he had to be physically removed. They said he was escorted out by security, which is true. Yeah. There was the Woody Johnson who, unprompted, said this was my decision and my decision only, after he already had said, hey, Aaron Rodgers and I talked yesterday, the day before the firing, but we had nothing to do with it. So now here we are with them having to refute multiple reports about how things are going. Robert Saleh wanted to give the play calling to someone else. That's pretty clear. Mm-hmm. The timeline of when that happened and when he made that decision makes it look like Aaron Rodgers called the code red in terms of, no, get rid of him now. We can't be doing this.
Code red. Yeah, no, you're probably right on that. And just the timing is the part that throws me off. It's the right decision. I mean, I don't know that the interim coach thing. I thought the best thing you said yesterday when you were taking your victory laps was on Kyle Burst and Norton, weekdays 2 to 5, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Madison as well. You said something to the effect of Rodgers is covering himself up by A, claiming no responsibility, and B, making sure Hackett isn't the interim head coach.
And that's the confounding thing about Aaron Rodgers was the reason he left was because he wanted more power, more respect, and to be able to make some of those bigger decisions. And then when those big decisions come up and they happen, he wants to wash his hands of it all. The whole reason he was there was because the Jets were going to give him that control. How many other owners are calling their quarterback on a Monday?
Do you think that's abnormal?
Extremely.
Okay, because I thought Woody's explanation, albeit I did not believe it, I thought his explanation was fine. Right? He took a couple of hits. I wanted to see how he was feeling.
It's a convenient excuse, but I don't imagine other players who took some hits or were dealing with injuries have gotten calls from Woody Johnson. Now, we know it's Aaron Rodgers. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Aaron wants to have all of the power, but he wants none of the responsibility when he fails. And what Aaron Rodgers has done as a Jet so far is failed. Getting your head coach fired is failing. And the reason I took such a victory lap is because for 2 seasons I said, basically, we need to move on from this guy. He's a cancer in the locker room. He's not going to help a winning culture. And he's getting older. That's the one thing people wanted to keep denying, that he was just going to be Tom Brady. There's one Tom Brady.
There's one Tom Brady.
There's only one. And
well, there might be 2.
Yes.
And his name is Patrick Mahomes.
Right. But let me tell you, when it comes to him being 40, I'm going to bet against him. Patrick Mahomes.
Haven't you learned?
No.
I get he's not even 30 yet, but you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
I think Tom Brady's a special type of psycho that is unmatched by anyone other than Michael Jordan.
You
might be right.
I also think in that conversation, Patrick Mahomes values the home and family life, I think, higher than Tom Brady did. Not that Tom Brady doesn't love his kids, but I think he is genuinely looking forward to the idea of spending years with his kids when he's still able to move around and function to a level that I don't think Tom Brady did. So, there is literally only one Tom Brady, because you have to be willing to put your family aside to a level that I think only Tom Brady and Michael Jordan have ever really been capable of doing.
The unbelievable follow-up by Hunter there was, I'm not saying Tom Brady doesn't love his children.
I needed to add that qualifier. As I said, he wanted to basically abandon his family for stretches to focus just on football.
That's why he's single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's played out.
It's played out. Yeah, that sure has. Wow. So anyway, the Jets. I mean, it is kind of funny.
It's utter incompetence, and I don't even want to be a Robert Saleh defender here. I think his record dictates
he's going to be a Packer pretty soon. So
he is taking the year off in 2024. So
25 though.
I don't think so. I think he'll get a real defensive coordinator job unless you fire Jeff Hafley. I don't think that's happening.
That's a fair point.
Cowboys are going to be hiring staff, so
I think. When it comes to Robert Saleh, I don't think he was that exquisite of a head coach. He had a top 5 defense, though.
Besides this year, yeah.
No, it's top 5.
Is it?
DVOA. Yeah, by like all
their
the
D-line's a mess, though.
Yeah, it is, and they're still very, very good.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
So when it comes to, he's doing what he's really at. He's got control of his side of the ball. Aaron Rodgers was come in to basically be the secondary head coach, to run the offense, run everything, pull all the levers, bring Alan Lazard and bring Nathaniel Hackett in, and he's failed. And a large part of that reason is because he's old and he keeps getting hurt. Mm-hmm. And that's just what happens to players at that age.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, dude. And I just don't see this getting any better. I don't know how much life Rodgers has left in the NFL.
8-9, 9-8.
Yeah, and I think that's completely fine. But I don't think that's good enough to be a playoff team in the AFC. That is not the
expectation. We have to remember, because Aaron Rodgers is going to try and change this when it comes to the end of the season. He will. Their expectations are Super Bowl or bust.
At least playoffs or bust.
Which also makes me more confident. Well, let's be clear. He didn't leave there to go make the playoffs a couple more times at 40 years old.
No, but I think Jets fans, I mean, they haven't been, I actually just saw, I think it was the Rich Eisen show. A 13-year-old called in, and he was great. He's a Jets fan. He's like, Rich, they've never played in a playoff game in my life. And I was like, that's
hey, if they want to parade that around, all that money, all those assets given up, then I'll let them have it, Jets fans, but not Aaron Rodgers. No. He doesn't get that.
No, you're right. You're right. All right, let's do this. First off, I need to address a comment on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. We got going a few minutes late over there, so they did not hear my explanation of the hat I'm wearing. All right, guys, Chef Ed, Strouf, you know you're my guy, but what's up with the clown hat? It's called the bucket hat, Ed. It's a bucket hat with a bunch of ESPN Milwaukee logos on it. I think we're trying to get rid of them. So, I don't know. Our boss, Brian D., lovely man, threw this on my head before I walked down the stairs. I said, you made your own bed, dude. Like, I'm wearing this on the air. So here we are. It's an awful hat. I'm not disagreeing with you. I do not look good in a bucket hat. I look good in normal hats. Thank you very much, as we discussed earlier.
TBD.
But bucket hat's not my thing. What is my thing is Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. It's whiskey season for me. The Door County Distillery bourbon, my personal favorite. But they've also got not too shabby 27-time gold medal award-winning single malt whiskey. Got a really good rye whiskey. They've also got gins, vodkas, rums, brandies. Whatever you're feeling, Door County Distillery does it better than everybody else. Affordable, local, award-winning. And available all over the state of Wisconsin. Check out your local liquor store, grocery store. They're everywhere. Or visit DoorCountyDistillery.com to find the retailer nearest you, as well as a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. Let's get creative this weekend. DoorCountyDistillery.com is the place to visit. We step aside for 6 when we come back, we're trying something. We're going to call this next segment Dog or Puppy. That's all I'm telling you. 60 seconds away from Dog or Puppy on Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Back in Carlsville at the legendary Door County Distillery with my buddy Rob from Door County Distillery, and we have a Door County Distillery exclusive in front of us right now, Rob. Cherries, bourbon, two of my favorite things. Put them together. You got Door County Distillery cherry bourbon. It's beautiful. We're just doing shots?
Yeah, we're just going to try it straight up. I mean, it is good for mixed drinks. You can put it in old fashions, Manhattans, but sometimes you just want to straight up take a little shot of it.
I won't complain about that. Like I said, two of my favorite things. Cherries, bourbon, Door County cherries, bourbon. I can't complain. Yeah. Cheers to you, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Prost.
Ooh, that's tasty. Oh, that's good.
Yep.
That's really smooth.
Get that cherry flavor. Yep. Not a whole lot of burn. Beautiful.
That's terrific. Door County Distillery exclusive, the cherry bourbon. Check out their website with a huge list of unique cocktail recipes at DoorCountyDistillery.com. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com. Yeah, DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website. I took the bucket hat off. I gave up on it. So, sorry to disappoint anybody that was really enjoying that. But, yeah, thanks, Hunter. I figured so as well. Okay. I don't even know how to properly set this one up.
I'm already laughing.
All right, so here's how we got here. I want to essentially, we're about, it's really hard to measure 17 because it's not divisible.
You can call it the quarter mark.
Third. I was going to call it more trimester mark.
Oh, wow. Yeah. We're doing trimesters?
Yeah, so I would say this is kind of the end of the first NFL trimester through 5 weeks. And I know there's 17, but it's kind of a hard number because after 6.
Did quarter mark get us closer to what we were going for? Because there's 18, 20 versus 15.
I don't know, dude.
We're not a math
Quarter,
show.
trimester.
That was too much math, wasn't it? Hey.
However you want to look at it, we are through a good chunk of the season.
That's on me. That was too much math for you.
Yeah, that was way too much. Way too much. So this is the way I want to look at it, right? We are through a good chunk of the season. 5 games of the season for the Green Bay Packers. I know Jordan Love only played in 3, but we are through a good chunk of this season. I want to take a look at each positional group. And the way I initially was going to do it, which is much less funny than what we're about to do, was, are they above expectations, meeting expectations, or below expectations, right? Just a simple grade, take a look at each position group.
That's your grade school report card.
Right. And I figured that'd be okay, right? I figured, okay. But not here. I mean,
not this show.
Around Mr. Relevant, man. Not this show. We have to do the wackiest, dumbest crap just to see if it'll work. So if you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to chime in and tell me if this sucks. Okay? I will not be offended. Or if you love it. We are going to go position group to position group on the Green Bay Packers, and we are going to bark and decide whether or not it is a dog, D-A-W-G, or a puppy. Okay? Everybody understand what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio, Hunter Vaughn with you. Go ahead, Hunter.
We're just going to start it off quarterback room.
All right, let's start with the quarterback room.
This is tough. I was nervous about this one from the start.
This one's tough because I feel like Jordan Love has kind of been below expectations, but I have confidence he'll get back up. So I'm just going to go with the normal.
Yeah,
that's a little vehement for me. I was closer to a woof woof.
Oh, he's not a puppy.
But, woof woof.
Yeah. Woof woof. Woof woof.
As a position group, though, like their backup came in and won 2 games.
Good point. Good
That's
point.
fair, Hunter.
That I said quarterback room because we're going position groups.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a really good point. Woof, 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 woof.
I don't know if it's more than one woof.
Woof, woof. Okay. So final answer for the quarterback. Woof.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to running backs. Woof.
Yeah.
Little nip at your ankles, little chop the trees, right? Josh Jacobs gonna run it down your throat. Woof, woof, woof.
I'm more of a woof woof. I think he's been excellent when given opportunity, and Emmanuel Wilson has blown me away.
Yeah, he's been solid this year.
I would feel comfortable and not wishing injuries on anyone. I'd feel okay going into a game with Emmanuel Wilson as the lead back if Josh Jacobs was unable to.
Yeah, I tend to agree, actually.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen, obviously, but I tend to agree. I mean, he's made a really nice jump this year. From going in the playoffs, from me saying, get that guy off the damn field, to a guy where, like, if he's on the field, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what he can do. That's a nice jump, both my mental and just overall for Emmanuel Wilson.
I just feel like
this
room hasn't been as explosive as I thought they were going to be. So that's why I went a little more puppy. I went a little more.
So give it to me again. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more roof, roof, roof.
Yeah. Dogs.
All right, I'm ready. Okay, poll on ESPN Milwaukee YouTube. I did not post this. Is dog or puppy the worst or best thing Mr. Relevant has ever done? You can vote on that in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel right now. All right, let's go to the wide receiver room. I've got a good one for this one.
Okay.
It's more.
I like it.
Right, ready to bite at any moment, but just giving you a little warning.
Yeah, it's getting ready.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Definitely.
For wide receivers, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's go to tight end room. Tucker Kraft. Hello, Joshy. Give it to me.
I'm going unique here. Ow!
Oh, a little howl at the moon, Tucker Kraft. Howl at me, Tuck. One more time, Joshy.
Ow!
Yeah, I like that. I'll co-sign that one. Ow! Hunter?
See, I was just going to go as much of a...
Okay, all right.
He is trying to burn people's house down when they trash talk him. Like, he is a rabid dog, Tucker Kraft. I love that room.
Yeah. Okay. I like where we're at here, man. I like where we're at here. Let's wrap up the offense with the O-line. And I'm struggling with this one because there's some positives. Like, I feel like Josh Myers is playing the best ball he's played as a Packer.
Yeah, last year they told us that they were lying. This is the best.
Oh, yeah. I would agree. Rasheed Walker, I don't think is allowed a sack yet, but he still leads the offense in penalties. Zach Tom's a stud.
Yes.
Elton Jenkins is a stud.
Yes.
Sean Ryan's played well.
I think if this was the only plan at right guard, which it has been, I think he's done perfectly well. I think he has been, in terms of a guy we weren't sure had a job, he's performed.
I would agree. So when it comes to their bark, roof.
They might be a single wolf.
Yeah, roof.
Yeah.
The thing is, I just saw stats on them. They are the number one pass blocking team in the NFL by the grades that are given out by like ESPN, PFF, and all those places. So, but when you think of O-line, you're thinking of run blocking, getting after them with the big hog mollies. And they're more of a finesse.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
Hog mollies.
Spell that.
Don't know. Only ever heard it said. That's what my coach in middle school used to call the offensive and defensive line, the hog mollies.
Okay. All right. So we're just going with like a single kind of tough hoof.
Yeah.
For the O-line.
Yep.
All right. This is where this game is going to get really fun. Mm-hmm. Defensive line.
Practice. Whimper.
Yeah. It's been bad. I mean, if I asked you singularly, Carl Brooks, Joshy, we're going more like,
Yeah.
right?
Devontae Wyatt.
If I asked you about Kingsley Enagbare, but if I ask you about the D line overall, yeah.
Rashawn Gary's going to be hearing that as he tries to get past the right tackle.
Hey, we got 4 votes in, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll say it's the best thing we've ever done. So
Love
let's keep
it.
this thing rolling.
There
Let's
might
keep this
be
thing rolling.
somebody amongst us trying to be a hater. Don't let it happen.
Don't let it happen.
I almost went with like a kitty cat noise for the D line. Like as a unit,
more like
they've been that bad.
Meow would have been
Yeah.
great.
Man, yeah, would have been
I
good.
came very close to it. Like because there's enough bright spots, I still gave them a bark, but they're close to getting a meow.
God, this is stupid. Let's go to the linebackers.
I'm at a woof woof.
Yeah. Woof, woof.
Edrin Cooper.
Stud. Yeah, he's a dog. Quay, up and down, man. Like, he's had good moments.
I think Quay has gotten a little unfairly treated because when he misses in big ways.
Yeah.
But by all the people who do the grading, and I'm incapable of that. I barely know what linebackers are supposed to be doing. He's like graded out fairly well in most of his appearances.
Yeah, it seems like occasionally he'll make the wrong read or he'll be in the wrong spot just by a touch. Or he'll read the run the wrong direction. Right? He'll
happened.
I think that happened on Sunday when we were watching the game together. He jumped left when the run went right. Or I guess the run would also go left because they're opposite.
Yes.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I struggle with this one. They're like completely happy medium for me, which I don't know what that would be in terms of a bark.
Yeah, I don't know how to do an
It's a
indifferent.
double wolf.
Like, do you almost just go like a dog panting? Like it's just like they're existing. Like
Do it.
All right, I've got a couple more. It's the last one on the defense. Get your barks ready, fellas. The defensive backfield.
best unit on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. How about the kicker?
Meow.
I was
Oink, oink.
I was trying to figure out a way to signify what you do with old Yeller. You take him up back behind the woodshed.
Oh, wow. This got dark.
It's parody. This is comedy. This is
Whoa! That That was good. How about the head coach, Matt LaFleur?
Yeah. Good.
He's too pretty.
So if he's pretty, what does that make him, like a goldfish? I mean, what animal is pretty?
How? Wait. Whoa. I was going to say, how do you go pretty and you say a goldfish? That's your standard of pretty for animals?
Have you ever seen those koi fish?
No, my standard of pretty for animals is like a golden retriever.
By the way, I nailed that peacock impression.
What did you say?
You did.
Is that the noise they make? I guess I don't know what noise they make.
Oh, you ever been to the zoo, brother?
I have indeed been to the zoo, yeah. I've been there before.
You'll hear that your whole time there.
That's okay. Good. Any others that I'm missing out on? Goody. What sound does a goat make? Yeah. God. I forget what movie it's from. Josh, you will know. Everyone in this room is now dumber.
Yes. I have a quote from that right here on the old Scales of Brust. That is from Billy Madison. Everybody in the room is now dumber when he gives his presentation.
Yeah, for having listened to it. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. How do we feel like that went?
A+. Maybe our best work.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please let us know in the comments.
So that's a good indication. Wow. That might be either the smartest, most obnoxious thing we've ever cooked up, or it very well could also be the stupidest waste of time we've ever participated in. Yeah. And I don't really think there's an in-between.
Yeah. A's or F's. That's what we're looking for here.
And we definitely hit one of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just don't know which one.
I think it might be different for each person.
Like, I imagine somebody's watching this going, I am watching the three dumbest people on the planet talk into microphones. How did they receive the jobs in which they have?
Here's a little secret, being a little like this.
Yep.
All right, let's turn our attention to this weekend's game, Week 6 for the Green Bay Packers as they play host to the Arizona Cardinals. We did one word a couple weeks ago on the Oh, my God, Hunter. No way.
I had to.
You thought he was just going to slide that in there. So for those of you listening on the audio side, Hunter has a lower third graphic. It's the graphic that essentially says what we're talking about on the bottom. And it says ARI/GB in gold, and then underneath that in white, it says Cardinals and Packers. On the left side, there is a picture of Jordan Love. On the right side of the graphic, it is a picture of Kyler Murray from his nose to the top of his head, indicating that Kyler Murray is short.
I had to do it.
The last segment was great. That might be Hunter's finest work.
It's pretty damn good, Hunter.
Thank you.
You're really proud of that one.
I am. I really am.
It's pretty good. Packers-Cardinals Sunday at Lambeau Field. Packers return home after the win on the road this past weekend in L.A. Packers now 3-2 on the year. Cardinals got a come-from-behind fourth-quarter win over the 49ers this weekend, which was a big one for them, right? I mean, it was an impressive win, and the Niners are mostly back to full health, obviously, and this is a big but. They are still without Christian McCaffrey, but it looks like they could be for the remainder of the season. And Jordan Mason hasn't been a half-bad replacement for him either. So, big win for the Cardinals this weekend, now 2-3, wins over the Rams and the 49ers on the year for them. As I mentioned, the Packers 3-2. These are two teams that I don't know if they know what their full potential is. Right, you have a better idea for the Packers, given that they were a playoff team a year ago, and the investments they made this offseason, which are coming to fruition specifically in terms of their free agent pickups. Xavier McKinney, who, in my opinion, is the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, and Josh Jacobs, who has been a really solid running back for them through 5 weeks. And obviously, in Jordan Love's absence, he was huge. This game intrigues the heck out of me. It is the 4th highest line of the year, or of the week, excuse me, at 47.5, which feels low. I feel like we're going to get a lot of points in this game. And the Packers are 5-point favorites. So obviously you get the 2.5 or 3 for being the home team, but also 2.5 plus on top of that. So 5-point favorite for the Green Bay Packers. That according to ESPN Bet. I just think we're going to see offenses, right? I talked last week about how I wanted to see kind of a get-right game for the Packers. I don't feel like we fully got it. I feel like there were some departments and some position groups and some things that happened within that game that felt like a get-right game, right? Braden Arvison not missing a kick is a get-right game for him. Defensively, making a big stop, only allowing 12 points defensively, feels like a good effort against a Hall of Fame quarterback in Matthew Stafford. So defensively, I felt okay. They couldn't really stop Kyron Williams, which is concerning when you're playing a good back like James Conner. But overall, I felt pretty good about the defense walking away from Sunday's game against the Rams. Offensively, I still feel like they've got some work to do. Romeo Doubs is going to return this week, hopefully in a big way. And Jordan Love just has another game under his belt now, right? He's had 2 games now to kind of recover, test that knee since spraining the MCL in week 1. He's had some opportunity. And this feels like the best opportunity for him against a pretty bad Arizona defense to get some work done. So I feel overall pretty good about the Packers this weekend. I think they can cover the 5 points. However, I think Arizona's offense is gonna score some points. If Jair Alexander returns, watch out for that matchup of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jair Alexander. That could bring some fun moments for Jair, who looks rejuvenated prior to the injury, and Marvin Harrison, who's really getting his feet under him as a great rookie wide receiver. So that matchup intrigues the heck out of me if Jair does indeed return this week, as we kind of expect him to. But overall, this is another one of those games like they played a week ago. This is a game where you're playing a team that is clearly worse than you that you should beat. This is a game in which the Packers should win, and probably win handedly. That should be the expectations. If this team is who we think they are, they have to handle business against bad teams. And I'm not calling Arizona a bad team. They're just kind of a frisky bad team. Like, they're not going to the playoffs as they were my preseason prediction. I thought they were going to go to the playoffs. They're probably not going to go to the playoffs. Kyler Murray's probably not the guy, although he has some phenomenal moments and has had a really strong season. I just don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback. And obviously that's the goal of every team. So we'll see what this brings, but this should be a Packers win. This should be a Packers take care of business game. And this should be make it 2 in a row for Green Bay as they prepare to host Houston next weekend. That's where my head is at for it. By the way, on Twitter, or excuse me, on the text line, actually, Eric in Green Bay texted in. There's 18 weeks in a season, including the bye week, so he liked the idea of us calling it a trimester. I missed that text from earlier. Josh, he doesn't, but I do. You only play 17 games. It's about at the trimester mark for the Packers.
Sure. That was the exact point I made.
I thought you were against the trimester.
No, I said quarters because 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 3 is 15.
17 is closer to 15 than 20, though.
Yeah, but there's 18 weeks.
Yeah, but not for the Packers.
Yeah, there are. Nothing happens during the bye week for them?
Not really.
People don't get healthy? You don't come back? No? None of that?
Shut up, Josh.
Does that week not exist?
You know what does exist? Making money. You know how we do that?
Woof, woof.
Underdog. Woof, woof. Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code GoodKarma at sign up. GOODKARMA. I tried to make a song out of it. It didn't work. Good Karma at sign up. Up to $1,000 deposit match and a free pick. And the entire month of October, Underdog daily is giving out free tokens, profit boosts, free picks, all sorts of stuff on the Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com. All you got to do, take a look at player projections. You click higher or lower on player projections. It could be yards, it could be touchdowns, it could be interceptions for football. For baseball, it's total bases, it's runs scored, it's strikeouts. All you do is click higher or lower on those player projections. Pick anywhere between 2 to 8 players in your pick'em entry, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Turn $1 into $1,000 on the Underdog app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Use promo code GoodKarma at sign up. $1,000 up to deposit match and a free pick at sign up. We will give you our week 6 picks on Friday's edition of the show of Mr. Irrelevant, which, by the way, will be live from George Webb on Friday with our friend Craig Karmazin, who's doing his 24-hour diner challenge. So that'll be good stuff. But Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com. Josh, you got something for me quick on the Underdog stuff?
First of all, I nailed the Kareem Hunt stuff.
Yeah, you
Monday.
did.
Yeah.
This one, we got an interesting game. San Francisco at Seattle
Tomorrow, yeah.
I love the hires for Brock Purdy in the passing game.
Okay, noted. Take that. Joshy's been on fire. I mean, if you don't believe me, every pick, I think just about Joshy has given out on the show on Underdog. It's typically hires. He's a higher guy.
Yeah, I do sprinkle in lowers, but those are less exciting to do.
I'm not guaranteeing a win because that is illegal.
Correct.
But I can tell you, Joshy has been winning.
I've been seeing the board.
So just throwing that out there. Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com.
I dabbled last night with the start of hockey to see how I could do at that, just to change it up a little bit.
And?
I did fine. I didn't go the flex this time on a 3-pick or a 3-entry there with the Blackhawks playing, and Connor Bedard was nice to me. But I just can't figure out the number of shots. I didn't win.
Yeah, I've caught myself in that. It's fun though. Just rooting for shots.
Yeah,
I did this a lot last season, but it's really hard to nail down. Really hard.
I feel
that
like
one I see.
Yeah, if you're locked in on hockey, like I think you can do really great at it. Like I'm just not locked in on the other teams outside of the Blackhawks, and that was my problem last night.
Right.
Yeah. Fair point. All right, Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code Good Karma. It's my favorite time of the week, debatably. Although I must say, dog or puppy, man. It's going to be hard to top that. If you missed any of it, if you're watching live with us, you got to rewind. Dog or puppy? Train wreck or a beautiful thing? I'm not sure which one. It's time now to play one word, 10 things going on in the NFL. Hunter has written 10 phrases, captions, ideas, comments, thoughts. I will respond to those 10 things with just one word. It is time now to play one word ahead of week 6 in the NFL. Hunter, go ahead.
We're going to start off with the Thursday night teams, the Seattle Seahawks.
Interesting.
San Francisco 49ers.
Injured still. That's 2 words. Injured.
Rookie of the year race. It's between Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels at this point, right?
To answer your question, the answer is no. And my word would be distant.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Jaden Daniels is going to win that. The AFC North.
Oh, I need to come up with a good word for this. Sporadic?
Okay. I like it. Drake May's getting his first start. Drake May will be
demolished.
The Cleveland Browns.
Bruised, right. Bruised. Oh, the Cleveland Browns.
Trash.
Disaster might be an understatement, you know? Horrible.
The Hindenburg.
What about Trevor Lawrence?
Underwhelming.
NFC favorite through the first trimester.
Detroit.
AFC favorite?
Well, you're screwing me here because Kansas City is 2 words. Chiefs.
MVP favorite.
Oh. Dare I say Daniels?
Really?
I guess I haven't looked at it. Mahomes is probably up there.
Well, he's thrown a lot of interceptions.
Right. And Daniels has been electric. He's putting up points. Obviously, win total will matter in the MVP voting, but they're 4-1 right now. So dare I say Daniels?
Okay. I hope not. I don't want Washington to get a MVP.
Well, I get that because you're a Cowboys fan, right? And
yeah.
The NFC East, I was surprised you didn't ask me. You asked me about the AFC North. I thought you were going to ask me about the NFC East today because that is a really intriguing division all of a sudden. The Giants are winning football games. Dallas and Philadelphia obviously were the preseason favorites, and Washington's in first place. So that division, much like the NFC North, has 4 teams that have my attention.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of wanted to I figured sneak it in with the Jaden Daniels stuff, maybe NFC favorite. There'd be some conversation there. So I wanted to kind of sneakily do it instead of just being a Homer fan and be like, talk about my Cowboys. Let's talk about the Cowboys. So
I don't mind it. I like one word because we talk about everything but the Packers, essentially.
Can we circle back quickly to your response to Seattle?
Yeah. What'd I say?
All you got is interesting.
Yeah, they are interesting. I mean, it's one word. What word would you use, Josh? I'll flip it back on you. If you're going to judge my one word, come with a better one.
Frauds.
They're not frauds. Because nobody expects them to be that good.
They looked pretty good to start.
Well, yeah, they looked good to start, but I don't think anybody was saying that, oh, they're going to win the NFC. They're going to be going to the Super Bowl. Everybody was like, oh, okay, they're playing really well right now. That's great. Good for them.
They're 3-2. I mean, San Francisco is falling, so could they win that division? Absolutely.
What I'm going for here is interesting.
It's just too much of a hedge?
You're just saying nothing. You might as well have just said pass.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good point. You know, but it's good to have you here because you do hold me accountable. You're very good at that. The bad part for me is I don't know what our bosses think of me, but they have two people to hold me accountable on the show. Like, they're like, Strouf's just going to say things that aren't true, or, you know, somebody's got to be here to hold him accountable. Hunter's doing a fine job of it, but now that he's not in the same city as Strouf, we need another guy to do it. So Joshy's here now. And yeah, you're right. Interesting is like saying nothing. So that's my bad. I'm coming up with these on the fly. They aren't interesting to me. A lot of things are interesting to me. It's very early in the NFL season. Joshy's eating and putting his finger up saying 1 second. Yep.
Next time, we're going to do this one word. Maybe come prepared with answers for all 32, and then just use the ones that you're going to need when he throws them to you.
But he asked me about Drake May. I didn't know that was coming.
Well, yeah, that one you have to improvise. But Seattle to be interesting and not thought of at all, that's what you get.
But I might not even give him a team.
Things?
Like, that's the thing. Strouf literally gets to see these like 5 minutes before the show.
Guys, we can do this off the air.
What are we doing?
We don't have to do this during the show.
No, we're going to do it now.
How we can make things better off the show.
No, we should do it now.
That's what we do 3 times a week. Yeah, you're probably right. Oh, goodness. Okay. More reaction rolling in on dog or puppy. Again from Eric in Green Bay on the text line. This dog segment has elicited bark sounds 10 minutes straight from my 2-year-old who is in the car with me right now. I was considering voting the worst segment you've ever done, but I'm overruled by my 2-year-old. Gotta run this one back from Eric in Green Bay.
Let's give the 2-year-old some more.
Hunter got excited there.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I like the segment.
I don't know that Hunter hates an athlete, right? I'm not talking football player. I'm not talking basketball player. I'm not talking hockey player. I'm not talking strictly just a baseball player. I don't think Hunter Vaughn hates an athlete more than he hates Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker now with the New York Mets. Obviously, last year he spent with the Milwaukee Brewers, was injured most of the year, was told, hey, you're good to go in the wild card round, brother. And then he strikes out twice in the series-ending loss to the eventual NL champion Arizona Diamondbacks. Hunter was at the game the Brewers lost last year. He booed Jesse Winker at that game last year. Jesse Winker comes in with the Mets this year, knocks off the Brewers in the wild card round in 3 games, in the decisive Game 3 victory, slams his helmet at home plate, breaking said helmet at home plate, and ultimately moving on with the Mets has been kind of a postseason hero for them thus far, as much as it pains me to say it. Yesterday to the New York Post sports department, Jesse Winker says this: I will hate them forever in regard to the city of Milwaukee. I will hate them forever. The good news is for Jesse Winker, I promise you, we hate you a lot more than you hate us. Now, I get it. Winker is the exact carbon copy of a guy you love to have on your team and you hate to play against. The issue with that, though, is we already hated him when he was on our team. I get, like, for the other 29 fan bases, you look at him and you go, oh, yeah, that's a guy you'd love to have around, but you hate when you play against him. No, not for Milwaukee Brewers fans. We already hated you. We hated you before it was cool. And we still hate you much more than you can hate us. You dork, you doofus, you douche. We already hated you, and we hate you even more now. So you can hate us as much as you want, but we hated you before hating you was cool. Hunter.
What's so confusing about this from Jesse Winker is that in that article, he also said that last year he was hurt and for some reason felt like he had to play through it. And yet that's somehow Milwaukee's fault and the fan base's fault. Like, I'm sorry that you couldn't go and talk to your manager, Craig Counsell, and say, hey, I'm not okay. I'm not good enough. We need to figure something else out here. Like, that's not Milwaukee's fault because Craig Counsell sucks as a leader and can't have players who can actually talk to him and communicate with him about where they're at with their health. That isn't Milwaukee's fault. That's Craig Counsell's fault. But oh no, gotta blame Milwaukee for it because, oh man, I hit 199 in my time there. I saw 6 pitches and 2 at-bats in the postseason. Did absolutely nothing positive for that team, and it's Milwaukee's fault for being mad at me for it. It's so stupid. Put the ownership on the guy that actually deserves it, and that's that bum in Chicago, Craig Counsell, for being a crap manager.
Yeah. I love that. Like I said, I don't think Hunter hates. Let me scratch what I said earlier. I said I don't think Hunter hates any athlete more than Jesse Winker. I truthfully believe Hunter hates no person more than Jesse Winker.
Oh, after that comment, it's
I
not
think
even
he's
close.
number one on your S list. Like, I think he is number one on.
Yep.
Okay, if there was one person Hunter would be fine never speaking of, to, or about ever again, it's Jesse Winker.
Yep, absolutely. Especially after this now. Like, take responsibility, and if you're going to put any blame on somebody, put it on the correct person. Don't put it on a fan base that you literally have seen embrace guys like Jackson Chourio and other athletes in this state when they actually deserve it. He did nothing to deserve it and felt like he deserved it. He's such a bum.
Such a bum. Good stuff. All right, let's get into it. It's time now for What We Learned. You learn something new every day. We learned something new today. Let's play some of What We Learned. Joshy, thumbs up, thumbs down. You got one today? Did you come prepared to the show or probably not?
Come to me last.
You know that's not how this works, right?
I'm proposing a new idea.
I learned something new today. Joshy thinks he runs this. That's what I learned today. I go last, Josh. That's how the show works. I go last, and then I say, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Gotcha. I'm such a brilliant content mind. Lieutenant Dan, a man in Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is deciding to ride out the storm in the middle of the storm on his sailboat. Now, you might wonder, why wouldn't he just take that sailboat north, south, anywhere else? No, he's riding it out. And yeah, I hope the best for Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. So he's in Tampa.
His process seems flawed. Yeah, his process seems flawed. He says, well, if the water raises, so does my boat. It's like, the water's usually not calm. It can tip. It can take on a lot of water. Those things are all possible. He's also anti-Life Vest, and that's a bad idea. Everyone should be pro-Life Vest.
I tend to agree with the pro-life vest comment. So I did stumble into this internet lore that is Lieutenant Dan. So it is a man that is missing the lower half of one of his legs.
Hence the name.
Hence the name. And from Forrest Gump, of course, for those of you unfamiliar. Great movie. My understanding is somebody found this guy in Florida, and they were fascinated by him, so they started filming him on TikTok, is where primarily you can find this. And so they've done a bunch of interviews with him over the course of the last week or so. But yesterday, the one that went mega viral is the fact that he is going to ride out this hurricane that is coming to Florida today and tonight and into tomorrow on his boat. And he says, you know what? I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be smart. But I'm staying put. So we will see. So if you're interested, TikTok Lieutenant Dan, you will be able to find all the information. Good job, Joshy. Let's go to Hunter.
Speaking of TikTok, a while back on this show, I tried to share with you my TikTok. It didn't go very well, given that I did not edit some of the video and there was some language I shouldn't have aired.
Let's just let's just call it what it is, Hunter. The first time you tried this was about a year ago. I think it was last November. We're talking probably episode 30, at best.
Yeah.
Of Mr. Irrelevant. Today is episode 167. We've done a few of these things before. You aired a video that I believe was about 30 seconds long.
Yep.
I believe the F word was said 35 times and said 30 seconds.
Yeah. It was a funny video.
It was funny, but you did not take the ownership to bleep out any of those.
No, because we're on YouTube. We technically don't have to. We're not monetized. It was fine.
Hunter, I get that. We don't need to get in the weeds on what we are or aren't. We've got 2-year-olds listening to us and barking along with us.
Okay, I didn't know that at the time. Now I do.
Well, I'm glad. You're growing every day. All right. What did you learn, Hunter?
So I stumbled. One of the TikToks I stumbled back across this account for the first time in a year, and I just wanted to share this 1 minute long video because I think it's a really cool, fun fact about planes. So here it is.
I'm an aircraft mechanic, and this is an airplane fact with Max. And today I'm in this aircraft's wheel well, and right here you can see a hydraulic reservoir, and right here you can see a hydraulic reservoir, and right here you can see a hydraulic reservoir. And these 3 hydraulic reservoirs are quite a bit different than the 3 elven rings in the Lord of the Rings that were crafted by Celebrimbor in the Second Age in the city of Austin Ethel in the land of Eregion, which was the realm of elven smiths, whose names were Narya, Vilya, and Ninya, whose original keepers were Galadriel, Gil-galad, and Círdan the Shipwright. But during the events of the War of the Ring, as we saw in the Lord of the Rings, Vilya was kept by Elrond, Ninya was still held by Galadriel, and Gandalf was actually carrying Narya, which was the ring that Círdan gifted him, until eventually, after the War of the Ring and the passing of the Third Age and beginning of the Fourth Age, those 3 ring bearers would sail back to Valinor to the Undying Lands. But these hydraulic reservoirs do hold hydraulic fluid that provide the aircraft with hydraulic power through the engine.
What do you want me to say about this?
I think that hydraulic reservoirs are pretty cool. So
I think hydraulic reservoirs are pretty cool too. And I found that, and I thought it fit with our Weird Wednesday show.
Right over our heads, I think.
I know. That was the point. I know. It fit well with the weird show.
Is.
Well, it's a reservoir that holds hydraulic fluid. That much is evident.
Come on. Idiot.
You know what a reservoir is?
I'm having a really hard time following up Lieutenant Dan and hydraulic reservoir with the WNBA championship, which is what I was
That's happening?
about. That starts tomorrow. Lynx and Liberty. Brianna Stewart. Oh, baby.
Cool.
That's all I got. I don't know how to follow this up. I just watched a 90-second video about hydraulic reservoirs.
And the 3 rings of power that the elves crafted in the Second Age.
Woof, woof. We'll talk to you on Friday, live from George Webb. Craig Karmazin will join us, CEO, founder of Good Karma Brands, host of Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin. He'll be eating pancakes while we do the show. I don't really know what to expect from that one either. Am I still going to have a job after this? It's Mr. Irrelevant, presented by Dawg Distillery. I'm Alex Strouf. We'll talk to you Friday, maybe. Peace.